Hey, my name is Samar. I also go by Sam or First Time Panner. Any of those you want to call me, you can. This will be a get ready with me, yet another get ready with me where I'm using new items and doing like first impressions. A few of these are like not exactly first impressions, but I've never used them like out. At most I've just swatched these products. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm still stuffy. I made some tea just to see if that could help clear my passageways because I can only take an allergy pill once every 24 hours. So I have some Earl Grey and I'm just gonna get started. I will first be using my Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge palette. As you can see, like always, most of these products, except for one thing, is not actually new, which is new to me. I recently picked this up, I think last month. This was the holiday palette from Huda Beauty for 2023 and I just got it when it was 50% off, and I've been wanting this for a while. Like I said, I've only swatched this, so here's what it looks like. I'm really excited to use this, especially because there's as always there's a car speeding down the road. Do you know that video that's that little baby that's like car on the road? I love that video, it's so cute. Anyway, these are supposed to be like mauvey purpley undertoned cool tone browns and stuff, which is like one of my favorite. This is like so specific, but it's like one of my favorite type of matte shades, which is why I love the Dose of Colors Pretty Cool palette so much, and I would never ever get rid of that one, and I would repurchase it if I had to get rid of it. So I'm excited to use this. Before I get started with that, and before I put my eyeshadow primer on, it is time to do yet another peel. I did one in yesterday's video, so you're getting a little treat. I have not even peeled off the like little plastic here, so that one was extra satisfying. So this is what it looks like all shiny and new. So I'm just gonna put on my Milani eyeshadow primer as I do literally every time I do my eyeshadow. I guess I'll talk about where I was, since like I never really have anything to talk about in these videos because I'm very boring. A few days ago I got back from up north. If you didn't know somehow, I'm originally from Minnesota, and I'm using one of these like Sephora makeup wipes because I don't have any clean rags that I usually have. While I was getting this out, I just posted on my Instagram too, I literally have 3 of these open, all different sizes of this exact same product open at the same time. Why? But yeah, as I was saying, I'm from Minnesota and I go back all the time, but ever since I graduated and then the pandemic ended. It never really ended, did it? But ever since the pandemic ended, I'm just wiping off my brushes. I've been going with my stepmom's family. Every October they all go up north to, like, that means northern Minnesota, by the way. I know I say up north a lot and that's just literally what it means, but we go up north and stay in a cabin. I don't have reception, but I think that's just like a me thing because I use a smaller like service carrier, but I don't have reception while I'm there, so like unless I'm going into town, which is like at most once a day for like maybe an hour, so like I can't get a signal. So it really is like I'm going into like a little wilderness cabin retreat. To set my eyeshadow primer, I'm just going in with the shade Heroin. It's really fun and I love going every year. It's just like I love spending time with them. They're like a really great group of people and they're so loving, and I also just love going. We go in like peak season when all the leaves are changing and it is so beautiful. Like even just the drive up there is worth it because you're seeing all these like trees changing colors and you're in the middle of all this beauty, and the lake is so beautiful. But while we were there this year, it was actually like in the 50s and 60s the entire time, which has never happened. Last year it was in the 40s, and we all thought that was warm for like northern Minnesota in October. Climate change is real, guys. I don't know what shimmer I'm gonna use yet, but for the mattes, I think I'm going to start with Brave and then use Nirvana here. And I'm gonna use like this really big, fluffy, dense brush that I've definitely wiped off multiple times, but it's just stained orange. And I'm gonna start with Brave everywhere. I don't know how pigmented this is gonna be, so I'm just gonna go into it. But yeah, I really love it that like every single person in that entire town is really nice. And I know everyone says like Minnesota nice, and especially I feel like living in the cities where I'm like originally from, it can be hit or miss. Like most people are nice, but sometimes, because it's like a big city, sometimes it's not always the case. There, literally every single person I've ever met there is like so genuinely nice. And it's kind of funny because they all look like, stereotypically, they might not be maybe the nicest people, you know. They kind of like, I sound like really weird talking about this, but they kind of look like more rugged and with their like, you know, work clothes and their like plaid and jeans and big boots, and sometimes they're like not smiling at you, but then as soon as you come up to one of them, they're just the nicest people. I really love that shade. That is so pretty. I feel like I could just use that shade and I would be really satisfied with that look. That is such a beautiful color. Oh my gosh, I already love this palette. Okay, it was worth it already. I don't even care. That is so pretty, and I don't have any shade in my entire collection that looks like that. So I'm just gonna repeat that on the other eye. But yeah, everyone is super nice, it's super beautiful, and it's just really chill as far as the town. It's like a little bit more of like a sleepier town because it is such a small town, and the peak season there is summer because it's like up at the Boundary Waters, and most people go there for like kayaking, or they go for, which I didn't even know until this year that I went, they go for like the blueberry and the harvest festivals, which all happen in the summer. So everything's kind of like very much slowed down when we go, and I honestly prefer it that way. So yeah, that was really easy and quick. Now I'm gonna go into that Nirvana shade, and I'm gonna use like a more pinched brush. Okay, this shade looks a little bit scarier because it's, if you can see how deep that is, I don't want to mess up the pretty look that I just did on these eyes, but I'm just gonna go in. I'm not talking because I'm focusing so much. I really don't want to mess this up because like I'm gonna spend the rest of the day in this makeup. The look I did yesterday, that like bright orange look, I was so annoyed because I did everything. I love the way the look turned out, and then I was like, let me just put a tiny bit of this like deeper shade in my outer corner from my Dose of Colors Sassy Siennas palette, and I've literally never had this happen, but that shade was so patchy. It kind of just stuck and looked like a super dark spot, like a blotchy spot on my outer corners, and it was not flattering at all, and it just kind of ruined everything. And I know I'm being dramatic because it's literally just makeup, but I was just so surprised because I've literally never had an issue with the quality of any Dose of Colors palette or shade, nothing. So I was just like, I guess maybe I could have been more careful, but I didn't ever think I'd have to be careful with Dose of Colors, so now I know. But this blended out perfectly, and I love the way it blended into the other shade. It looks exactly like the way I was picturing it in my head when I was looking at the shade. So I'm very happy about that. I'm gonna do the other eye and then come back because I need to focus. That is so beautiful. I put that on my lower lash line as well, but that is so pretty, and it blended out so perfectly. I think I'm also gonna take on this same brush, I'm gonna take a little bit more of Brave, that first shade, and put it all over my lash line, or my lower lash line, and like the edges of where I put that deeper shade. Also, oh, actually I'm really excited to talk about this. while I was out of town briefly, because we usually all stay in the same cabin, but the lodge that we usually like rent from while we stay there, it's actually shutting down, so they didn't have any place to put us like in the like large cabin we usually share, so we had to like split up into 3 smaller cabins on the property. So I actually got to have my own cabin with my stepmom. We shared just the 2 of us, so sometimes I got to sneak away and have some alone time, which I really value. And while I was in my alone time, I read my book club book, which it is so, I'm only like maybe a quarter or a third of the way through. It is already, oh, I dropped my brush. It is already so good. I'm gonna pick out a shimmer to put on my lid as I'm talking, because I will kind of like talk away the entire video. This is Haphazard. It kind of seems like a little bit dark for what I'm going for, but it does have like that kind of pink flip in the glitter that, I don't know, maybe I should put this like on my outer corner. Or there's Strong AF, which depth-wise would be better, but it kind of looks like a little mauve-y, and this is more like pinky purple. Avant-Garde is definitely way too dark. Sorry, my fingers keep cracking. This one is Rebelle, that like super chromey silver one. I put the other silver Maverick right next to it, and it's making Rebelle look like kind of mauve-y next to it, so like I'm trying to like look at it at the same time you can see it. And then the last shimmer in here is Stand Up, but I don't think I'm gonna, yeah, that's way too like frosty pink. Maybe I'll put this first one I swatched toward the outer half of my lid, and then that Rebelle shade on the inner part. Somehow I got eyeshadow way down here, and I really don't think that I'm going to need my NYX glitter primer, because these seem like they would definitely stick my eyes, but I'm still gonna use it just because I always do. But back to the book. It is so good. It's called Then She Was Gone. It's the book that I picked for book club, and oh my gosh, it is like, I'm sure at least one of you, if you're into books, I'm sure at least one of you has heard of it, at least, because it seems to be like a very popular book. I've seen it like featured in every single bookstore or like place that has books that I've been in since I got back into reading this year. It's by this like very I don't know if she's necessarily well known. I think she is, but Lisa Jewell, she has a lot of mystery books. I don't remember if I already talked about this. I feel like I did, but I'm gonna talk about it again. So this is Rebelle, and I'm gonna have to be careful with this because it's actually a really flaky shade. Like if you can see the flakes. But it's a good thing I'm doing my eyeshadow before I do. Oh, very flaky. I don't know if you saw it fall off my eye, but I'm doing my eyeshadow before I do my face makeup, so it's not a problem. This is very punchy, and it's a very thick formula. I can literally feel it on my eye. So it's about this lady who, her 15-year-old daughter goes missing one day when she's like walking to the library. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I don't even think I'm far enough in the book to spoil anything. And now I'm gonna just put Haphazard on my like outer part of my eye. But 10 years later, they basically like bury their daughter. She's pronounced officially dead. Like the police just assumed, based on like limited evidence that they had, police just assumed that she ran away. And they like bury her daughter, they find some of her things and they bury that. And so she finally, 10 years later, accepts the fact that her daughter is dead, whether or not she ran away or whatever happened. I'm gonna take this brush and just kind of like go over the edges to diffuse everything out into the mattes. So like very soon after she buries her daughter, she meets this guy, and he has 2 daughters, and his 9-year-old daughter looks suspiciously like her daughter who went missing 10 years ago. So I don't know about you, but if you're thinking what I'm thinking, I'm not far enough into the book to have like any clues yet. Like, the author hasn't started dropping any other hints. Like, literally what I told you was like, it was already on the back of the book in the synopsis. But so if you're thinking what I'm thinking, that's crazy and that's gross. This is really pretty. It's super bold, but I really like it. I think I'm just gonna do the lower lash line, and I'll probably put this haphazard shade on like the outer 2/3, even though I only put it on the outer 1/3 of my eye on the lower lash line. I'm gonna put it on the outer 2/3, and then later after I do my face makeup, I'm gonna fill in the gaps and do the inner corner with the Rebel shade. Or maybe I'll choose a different shade actually, I haven't decided. The writing style I feel like is pretty unique for like an adult, not that she is like that type of adult book, but for like a book for adults. Like, the writing style is definitely different than anything I've ever seen. The chapters are like 2 or 3 pages, they're really short, and I think honestly that's better for like keeping the momentum for reading a book, because I, at least, like when I see a super long chapter, I kind of like, if I'm not really into the plot that's unfolding at the moment, if I see a really long chapter, I get overwhelmed and I just don't even read it. I'm gonna take my Urban Decay black eyeliner. This is not new to me at all. But yeah, I think that's a really, I don't know if she does that intentionally or like why she does that, but at least for me, for a reader, that is a really great strategy to keep me reading. And then also, I just like, I like her writing style. Like the way she, I keep saying like, but the way the author kind of like describes what's going on in the woman's head, the mother, who we're seeing everything from her point of view. It describes her well so that we can pretty much understand what she's thinking, but it doesn't describe every little thing. And like, you have like these short time jumps so that we don't have to like go over every single thing that's happening in excruciating detail, because I really like detail. That's why I like mystery books, or one of the reasons. But like, we don't really need every single thing, and that is a reason why I don't really read fantasy and I don't really read classics, because I feel like fantasy books and like those old American classics, they kind of just go into extreme detail that you don't really need, like all this world building and all this like analysis of the color of the curtains. I'm gonna use this sample of this Laura Mercier primer. It's the Pure Canvas Hydrating Primer. Never used it before, but I figured since I'm doing all powders on my face, I should use something hydrating. This kind of just feels like a very water-based moisturizer. So now I'm a little worried that maybe I shouldn't have chosen this, because this does not really feel like it's going to add anything to my makeup, and there's also a lot of it. Like, I don't really need this much. Okay, I'm gonna use some on my hands. Oh, speaking of my hands, if you notice that they look kind of like discolored or brown, or just they look weird, you would be correct. I'm just gonna go in with this e.l.f. color corrector and then just use my fingers to blend it in, because I didn't wash my beauty blender. But yeah, my hands, I mean, I wash my hands a lot in the first place, so I do get dry hands, but also combined with the fact that I do get eczema. I usually get eczema in the summer. I have no idea why, but I get eczema a lot on my neck, but I do also get eczema on my hands when I'm in a really dry place, because I wash my hands so often. And it doesn't matter if I use lotion, like I use the eczema lotion, like I use the one from Christy Beauty and I use the one from Gold Bond. I use that like every time I wash my hands. But if I'm in a dry place, it'll just flare up. I don't know why I'm telling you this because it's probably gross, but you're gonna hear it anyway. This is just my Maybelline Superstay powder, which, by the way, I hit pan, so that's a goal met for my That's the 2000s project. Little spoiler for you. And I'm literally just gonna put this everywhere. We don't need to talk about this. I was in a dry place, so of course it's gonna flare up while I was there, and my hands will just start cracking. Like, it gets so dry that it cracks, and when the cracks start healing, of course I get these, like, this is so gross, why am I saying this, but I get, like, because it's like super tiny cuts in my hands, is basically what the cracks are. When it heals, I get like these super tiny scabs, but literally all over my hand, so it looks like my hand is just brown. If you unsubscribe, I understand. I'm so sorry I said that. I promise I'll never talk about that again. This is real life though, people. I'm just a girl. Now on to the actual new product. This is the Ilia face palette. The packaging is so oddly shaped. I don't really like it, but yeah, this is the new Ilia face palette, the baked, what is this, the Ethereal baked face palette, and this is in the medium shade. I'll show you what it looks like before I rip off the little peely part, but this is all 4 shades, and maybe I'll do swatches, but like on my palm, because as you just saw, the backs of my hands are truly disgusting. The highlighter is extremely pigmented. Like, that is the most impactful thing out of this entire face palette. I'm gonna be very careful when I use it, but this is what it looks like. I'm gonna start with a bronzer, but first, again, I'm gonna peel off this little thing from the mirror so I can actually use it, and this is like, I haven't used anything with this brush yet. It's a super clean brush, so this is just what the bronzer looks like without any interference. But oh yeah, that's like a super light wash of color for me. Again, it's not a super pigmented product, but also it's not that much darker than my skin tone in general, so it does give just like a very light wash of color. Of course, when I'm at my lightest in the spring, this will definitely show up a lot more, but for now, yeah, I'm very happy with what this looks like. I don't always, in fact, I usually don't want a super pigmented bold bronzer. I pretty much only use bronzer just to match my forehead with the rest of my foundation. My forehead is deeper and more warm than the rest of my face, so I have to put something there or else it looks like kind of light and gray and weird. So I use bronzer every day, but I don't want it to necessarily show up. But yeah, I really like this shade. Yeah, I feel like I'm just saying the same thing. It's showing up, but it's not like super noticeable as a bronzer. And I usually use contour for my cheeks instead of bronzer here, but I'm just working with what I got. So yeah, for my cheeks, I would prefer something darker, and of course more cool toned, so it would be contour, but I'm not gonna knock it because it literally is meant to be a bronzer. Next, I'm going to go in with, because this is a cool tone look, I'm gonna use the cooler of the two. This is like a neutral shade, but this one is definitely way warmer than I want, so I'm gonna use this blush, this pink blush on the end, and you know, just put it on my cheeks like I would with blush. So again, I can definitely see color. Yeah, it's like a light wash of color, but I am building it up so that I can see it a bit more. So this is buildable to a certain extent. It's a baked product, so it's not going to be like super pigmented like a non-baked powder would be, but I really like that, especially for like a more natural look. Like, no one has super bright pink cheeks unless you're like a toddler. Now for the part that I'm actually most excited about. I usually don't care about highlight, but because this highlight is so pigmented, I'm actually very intrigued by it. I just dabbed my brush in once So we'll see what this looks like. Whoa. Okay, that, first of all, that's beautiful. That is a really, really beautiful wash of color. It's not glittery, but it is shimmery. So it's not like, my favorite highlighter is the Essence, I think it's called the Pure Nude, like the Be My Highlight and the Be My Sunlight. Those are my favorite highlights because they're like just a wash of glow and they don't have anything sparkly in it. This doesn't have chunks of glitter in it, but it does have shimmer. So you will notice that it definitely is a highlight, but it's so pretty and ethereal, and it's like even throughout. That is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. I like, you can see the difference between the two cheeks. I don't know if you can really tell on camera. This definitely has got to be my favorite like bold highlight. That is so pretty. Okay, I bought this full price. There was like a 4x points deal and I really wanted this anyway as soon as I saw it, but I did buy this full price. I didn't get any discounts. None of these products were sent to me. I'm not a big YouTuber, so I can say like my honest opinion on this is I am very happy that I bought this palette. Of course, I still haven't used this one blush, but this is so beautiful. I feel like because I don't like to wear super heavy makeup when I'm on vacation, I could bring this with me and have everything I needed and have like a quick, easy, like subtle makeup look and be so happy with this. I love this. I'm so happy I bought this. I also like that it comes in one lighter and one deeper shade. Like I said, this is the medium. So if you're the same skin tone as me, this would definitely work for you. But there are other options. Now I'm going to do setting spray before I do my mascara and my brows and lips. This is I've literally never used this before. I feel like I'm the last person on earth to use it. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I just got this as like a free gift with purchase when I ordered the face palette. I don't even know if you're like supposed to shake this or what you're supposed to do. It doesn't say to do any of that, so I'm just gonna spray my face. Hopefully it doesn't go everywhere, but oh, it's not coming. Oh, there it is. I feel like 4 sprays was enough to get my entire face, but let me see how it looks. I don't really see any drops of the setting spray anywhere on my face, so that's great. I never use setting spray to like increase the longevity of my makeup. I pretty much just use setting spray and finishing spray interchangeably. I use it to kind of like meld everything together and take down a powdery look. So I never keep track of whether or not my makeup lasts longer without setting spray, but this one specifically, like the only thing it's designed to do is to make your makeup last longer. So if my makeup starts to break down, I will put that in the description box, but I'm sure everyone has already tried this anyway, so probably doesn't even really matter. I feel like I should do an eyeliner, but I don't. First of all, I don't really have time. I've been filming for 45 minutes and I don't really want to ruin this makeup in case it leaks, which it has been doing. So I'm not going to do that today, but I will do that for probably the rest of the looks I do with this palette because it was kind of made for a black eyeliner. But I am going to put on, I just dropped everything. I'm going to put on a black mascara if I can find it. This is the Benefit Bare Real Magnet Mascara, just in a black shade, that I got as like a free gift with purchase. I just opened it this past month and I had no idea what it was going to be like, but I actually do really like this. I usually don't like these plastic spiky mascara wands, but I have been really enjoying this, and I don't know if I would necessarily buy it again, especially because I have so many mascara minis, because like places are always giving out free mascara. But if I ever got it again, I would not be mad about it. I honestly have no idea why it's called a magnet mascara. Maybe that was just like a part of the gimmick. Maybe it has nothing to do with magnets. Probably not, or else I feel like that would be dangerous. And they'd also probably put like a warning label on the tube if it was. Maybe there wasn't, I just didn't see it. I don't really know. Now, because I forgot to do it before I did my mascara, I'm gonna do my inner corner. So I feel like, I don't know if I should do like this same shade. Maybe I should do a different shade just like to test everything out. I'm gonna take that Maverick shade, that like super chromy silvery shade, and I'm gonna put this on the like first third of my lower lash line, and then also use it on my inner corner. Uh-oh, this one isn't sticking as well as the other one. I guess I will have to bring in the glitter glue, and I'm just gonna put that in where I was gonna put the that shade. I don't know why I can't speak. What is wrong with me? Hopefully this helps everything stick. And I'll put it on my inner corners too. Okay. Trial number 2. Okay, that's looking like it's sticking better, but I feel like this shade looks as flaky as clearly my neighbor's having fun. This shade looks as flaky as the other one feels. Yeah, maybe I should use my finger for this. Okay, I'm gonna use my finger. Okay, a finger is definitely much better for this shade. The brush was just like, it was not doing it. I got way too much because the shade is very soft, and I kind of just dug my finger into it and then plopped it on my eye. So I honestly feel like I kind of ruined it a little bit, but again, this is real life. This is what happens in the wild. I'm gonna have to blend that up a lot farther than I originally expected to. I'm gonna try to cover that up with a little bit of concealer, and I'm gonna do this off camera because it's just gonna be me silently fidgeting around. And then I'm also gonna do my brows with this Milani brow pen and this e.l.f. brow gel, which looks disgusting now, and my Milani brow wax, and then I'll be back. Alrighty, I'm back. My eyebrows are kind of dark. I have not gotten used to using this brow pen in like all over my brows because I keep just running out of brow products. So I've been using this all in my brows, and it's pretty dark. So I mean, I have a very like bold and dark look on my eyes anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, I used the LYS concealer to cover everything up, and it worked perfectly, just as I had hoped. If you want coverage, you should get this Triple Fix concealer. This is in the shade TG1, which is more of like my winter shade, but it's supposed to be a brightening concealer anyway. And then I just like repowdered under my eyes and then resprayed my face with the Urban Decay setting spray. It kind of smells a little weird. But now I'm going to do lips, which is going to be really quick. I'm just using this NYX Butter Gloss Bling lip gloss. I did a short, I think it's called, or like a reel, doing like swatches of all 3 shades that I got. This one is in the shade Hustla. It's like a combination of the Fenty Glosses Hot Chocolate and Hot Chocolate Fantasy. If you combine those two, this is pretty much what I cannot talk. This is pretty much what that would look like. So I'm just gonna put this on my lips and then be done. But I was thinking we should do a book club. Like all the panners that I watch, or most of them, like to read, which if you think about it kind of makes sense. Panning is kind of a little bit neurotic, or it can be, and it usually people who pan are usually the like more analytical people, and those tend to be the bookworms. So yeah, a lot of people in the painting community like to read, and I was just thinking like we should just start a book club together and be reading the same books. I did have Joanne, hi. She recommended Full Measures, and that is on my list. So the next time I do like a book haul, I'm going to be buying that one. But we should just like recommend each other books, or we could like read books at the same time. I kind of just want to do a book club with everyone. I'm really enjoying the book club that I'm in now, if you couldn't tell from me yapping about the book so much. Think about it and get back to me if you're interested. But I really like this lip gloss. It is so pretty. Originally when these came out, I was like, who would want to buy that? And then I was like, wait, I would want to buy that. And then I bought 3 at once. I'm really happy with this purchase, and I'm happy with everything. I feel like except for the Laura Mercier primer, which thank goodness it was just a sample, other than this, I enjoyed everything that I used today. This we'll just have to see. Like, I'm gonna use it anyway no matter what because it's a spray, but I love this palette. So happy I got it, and I got it 50% off. I can't stop staring at my eyes. I'll take a picture so that you can see what it all looks like, but very happy with this Ilia palette. No regrets. If for some reason this left my collection, I would repurchase it immediately. I've been using this mascara for a while, so it wasn't a first impression, but I do like this mascara. Not a favorite, but just like the setting spray, I'm definitely gonna use it up and I'll enjoy it while I'm using it. So yeah, that was everything. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if like you have any other thoughts on these products, if you want to see me talk about anything else, or if you have any recommendations. Once again, I'm on a low buy, but as you can see, clearly not really. But I will just have to see you in my next video, which will be my old new Gifted Blue project pan update. And I hope you have such a great day. Bye.